Hello, I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE here in theCUBE's NYSE Wired studio. Of course, we have our Palo Alto studio connecting Silicon Valley and Wall Street. This is our Mixture of Experts series that we talk to leaders, experts in their field who want to contribute to our index and our community. Jenny Shao is here, she's been a CUBE alumni, back. She's also the founder and CEO of Robyn AI, which we've talked about before, about almost a year ago here in theCUBE at the NYSE. She's back with lots of momentum. Her seed of an idea generated momentum, product launch. It's launching this week. Jenny, welcome back to theCUBE here at our NYSE Wired studio.
Yes, thanks for having me back. Always happy to talk with you.
It's great to see the momentum. When we last spoke here, it was part of our series, AI Leaders. You had an idea how you could change people's lives using AI technology, and it was a really cool session. You were sharing your vision. We were riffing on some of the impacts of society and how technology could change things. Now you've made it a reality. Yes. Okay, you have funding, you have a product that's out in the market, you're launching a big ad campaign in the subways and billboards. You have momentum and traction and lift with users.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. We are so excited. You know, like last time we spoke, just like you said, it was very much an idea that, you know, we were very passionate and we started building it. And right now to see Robyn in the hands of everybody, to hear these, you know, stories and, you know, see our campaign, but most importantly, see the product come to life and everyone who's using it, our community, their stories. It's the entire reason why we built Robyn. So it's definitely been an amazing, amazing year, and we're just getting started.
So if you search Robyn, R-O-B-Y-N,
yes,
not Robyn with an I, Robyn with a Y, Robyn AI, you can check out the app. Give us an update. I want to get the hard news out there. Products available.
Yes.
Where can I get it? What's the process?
Yeah.
How do I use it? What does it do?
I love it. So you can find us everywhere on the Apple App Store. Currently we're just iOS, but you can search ROBYN. We're the first thing on top. It says Robyn Talk Feel Grow, and then you just
Talk Feel Grow.
Talk Feel Grow.
Okay.
Yes. So Robyn Talk Feel Grow. You can download it on the App Store, and then you really just get to using it. And, you know, Robyn, we very much built it to be kind of your emotionally intelligent partner, which is, you know, something that reflects you, you know, back to you, and really feels like it really knows you, right? Mm-hmm. In my opinion, the best tech is really tech that kind of disappears right under the surface, and then all you see is, you know, yourself, right? Because it's not about the tech per se, it's about the user, it's about the human who's actually using the technology. And I can't wait for everyone to really experience that. We've already been hearing from our community, people who have been using Robyn on everything they're using Robyn for, and that's like always the favorite part of my day, is like hearing these stories. You know, we've heard that Robyn helped me like save my marriage. Robyn made me a better husband and father. Robyn helped me through a divorce. Robyn, you know, helped me ask the girl out. So it's really ramping up, and I'm so excited to see it, you know, live.
So I want to get into the AI side of the product. Obviously, with voice prompting, the momentum of all the AI, conversational AI to reasoning, and Jensen Huang said at GTC last week at their kind of mini annual conference in DC, the scaling laws around beyond reasoning is like deep thinking, like actually intelligence is coming. Yes. But I misspoke when I introduced you. You're Dr. Jenny Shao, because you met on MD. I'll read your resume: resident physician at Harvard University, surgical residency at Mount Sinai Medical School, Cleveland Clinic, lead research assistant at Boston Children's Hospital, Nobel Prize laureate lab researcher, executive editor, Journal of Global Health, student researcher.
You went deep.
You have, this is just from your LinkedIn. I bring that up because you are very humble, and your company motto says it's not about pedigree, it's about execution.
Yes.
Your credentials in the area are significant. I can see why you came with the product. You're bringing a lot to bear, even, you know, from journaling, running the journal, to research, to actually being a resident in the medical field. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so we didn't really dig into it in our last interview. You got here because of your journey.
Yes.
And so this is, I won't say off the beaten path, it's kind of in line with your expertise.
It's a bit unusual.
It's like, no, but you can cross that bridge and say, okay, I can see how you got there. So take me through the mindset, because now technology is accelerating.
Yes.
And whether you're talking about accelerated computing from the NVIDIA, Jensen Huang CEO, or I just talked to another entrepreneur today, the acceleration between how things get done between worlds coming together and converging, you saw something with the AI that was there. Connect the dots for us. Tell us the story.
For sure. I think this goes back a couple years, but I will say, to your point about the compute right now, right? And then just like the scaling of AI, I think in the past couple years, it's really been about, like making these bigger and bigger models, right? Scaling compute and making it more efficient, making it more scalable. And I very much believe that the next wave of AI is not just about that. It's really about how do we make this more human? Right, not just like intelligence in the way that like, oh, I remember like certain things like encyclopedia. It's about how do we make this emotionally intelligent, right? How do we make this actually human? And that's where my background comes in. Is that I used to be a surgeon before I was a founder, and it was interesting when I said I was going to leave surgery and like leave Harvard, and this crazy idea of founding a startup, as I think a solo founder.
Everyone thought you lost your mind.
Yeah, people were just like, what is wrong with you? Like you're gonna go die under a bridge. And but I was just very, very, I had a conviction that this is important. I wanted to build a world that we actually, wanted to live in. And as a surgeon, you take an oath at a medical school that, to do no harm, right? You vow to do everything that you can to actually help people. And when I realized that our system was not set up to actually help patients, I realized that people were so lonely. They were very disconnected emotionally. People were dying alone in ICUs. And I was just like, this is insane. This should not be the world that we live in. So I wanted to build a place that was deeply human, that helped people really feel seen, and really, really come back to themselves as step one, and to connect, right? And the thing is that we call it innovation in Silicon Valley, but this is something as old as time. It's written in our basic biology that as humans, we need to connect, right? We need to feel seen. We need a place where we can feel is our safe space, where we can express. And that is what Robyn is, right? We wanted to build something where the tech empowers the people, right? The tech actually empowers us to be more human, to really, really find ourselves, and to really, like take that as a step to connecting with everybody else as well.
And I think that's where AI, when you look at the AI, the opportunity, the timing was good. Yes. Because you take that leap of faith, the conviction, as you say, that's what startups are like. I mean, you gotta take a risk. But I like the risk management, because if you look at where the AI was at that time, and the advancements just the prompts aren't one and done. There's a lot more next step thinking. The clusters are getting bigger, but the software's coming in, and the use cases in the market are people, you've seen stories. Having an affair with my chatbot. Like, you can have a dialogue, and sometimes journaling or talking, in this case, with a programmable agent, it makes a lot of sense. So I completely see the logic of how that would really change someone's life. Take us through the execution on the product side, because what happens? How did you do it? Is it like a secret brain? Are you tapping all these databases? Are you getting some direct feedback from the user? How do you tailor and tune the AI and the technology into the person, and how do you get them to feel and then act? What's the three things? Talk?
So talk, feel, grow.
Talk, feel, grow.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you feel, then you grow. So take us through how it works.
Yeah, so that's my favorite question, because I think, I very much believe that, vision without execution is just a daydream. You really have to, make it happen. And on the product side, we very much built Robyn like a human brain, right? We built Robyn to really, really know you, to not just, know, oh, like, John, you wore a suit, when I see you like tomorrow. It's about, oh, John, like, these are important to you, right? It's about memory, but human evolving memory, right? Like, as humans, like, we remember, but then that also evolves, right? And then it's colored by salience, by, what is emotionally resonant, by what is, recent. And all of these things that, I learned in Eric Kandel's lab, I then took and poured that into Robyn, so that Robyn now has the most human memory, like, on the market. And it really goes back to our mission of, like,
what do you mean human memory?
People.
Explain that.
Yeah, so for example, like AI memory right now is kind of like an encyclopedia.
Like
right?
tokens?
So no, it's kind of like encyclopedia. So think of it as kind of like a big shelf, right? Every time you say something, you're putting something on that shelf, and then you query that knowledge base, and then every single time it takes these keywords. excuse me. And then so like that memory kind of is like, if I see you tomorrow and I'm like, oh, John, you had glasses on yesterday. It's true. It's just not very salient, right? But Robyn's memory is about, oh, John, I remember you mentioned you love surfing. Like, there's a really good surf place. Let's go and like surf together, right? It's about what is important to you. It's about what is, like recent and what has saliency, what has emotional resonance. And a lot of that is neuroscience, right? That's not just about the tech stack. It's knowing what to put in that tech stack, right? It's about how do we make this technology human?
So you make the tech stack work around the design on the outcome.
Yeah.
Versus building a tech stack and look for a solution.
Exactly. We very much built Robyn, as a place to be human. So then the question we asked ourselves was, how do we, what do we put in this tech stack to make that, come to life, right? How do we build the most human AI? How do we build something that makes people feel seen and heard? Because there's so much talk about, efficiency and AI replacing humans, and we don't believe in that. We believe in a future where AI empowers humans to be more authentic, and to be more themselves and more connected. And that's the future that, I want to build, and that's the future that we're going to work very, very hard to make happen.
All right, so you got the launch this week. You got activations I mentioned, because you told me before we came on camera, the subways. Tell us through all the plans.
Yeah.
And here in New York City, if you're in New York City, if you're riding the subway, we'll see it. Take us through the plans.
So if you ride the subway, you will definitely see our campaign there. So look for a really colorful, sunrise-like poster with Robyn. And in our campaign, we wanted to make it about the person, right? About the human using it and their experience, not so much just like the tech, but it's all over the subways. It's in, a lot of the subway stations. Yep. We also have a Times Square billboard. It's going up very excitingly tomorrow. So if you are in Times Square, then you'll also see us. But we're very, very excited about the awareness that we're seeing, and just the traction and the excitement for what we're building.
Well, I'm super happy for you, because after that last interview, it was a very memorable interview for me, because it hits it's not just tech fun. It's like society impact is significant, because we all have friends, and sometimes ourselves where we've had situations where it's like you need a friend, or sometimes something so confidential or private. I can see how AI could assist there. I guess my only question would be, or two questions. When I start using, I can start using the product today. Yes. Okay,
today.
so that's a yes.
Yes.
And then two, I'd be worried about privacy.
Yes.
Because like, I'll download it, but then Jane's going to check out my inner thoughts. Robyn has got to be separate from. I'm not you. I'm just saying you.
Yes.
But like,
yes. That's very,
very
very
intimate. If I share my intimacy, grow. I got to be vulnerable.
Yes. And that's why, one of the first things that we did is like two things, really. It's like safety and like privacy, right? So when we had one user, which was me, I made sure that, like we implemented safety guardrails on top of guardrails. Remember at the time, my dev team was like, this is crazy, what's the point? There's no one's using this, you're the only user, Jenny. But I'm like, no, I don't care. Like if we have, one person, if this is live, it has to have this. And that's why we have very robust safety guardrails. And in terms of privacy, everything is encrypted. So nobody at Robyn, including me, right, I can't just go in and be like, oh, what did John say today? And I made that very purposely, because, I wouldn't use it if I knew somebody could just, read my private thoughts, right? Yeah. So we built it very intentionally for the human, and it's because we are the consumers, right? We built it for ourselves. We built it for younger Jenny, for the people that I took care of who really need this. And as what we asked is like, what do we want to see in this product? And number one was like privacy and like safety. So that's the unlock.
Yeah, and I think the thing I want to ask next is data sharing, because the old model was whether you're a telco, phone company, carrier, or Facebook, they sell the data.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No. So the data is completely owned by the user.
Yes. The data is only used to improve the user experience, and nobody at Robyn can just go in and see your data, and we will never sell your data. That is not the kind of company that we are building. That's not how we monetize. And we want to build a place where people and their data are safe.
So as you grew from user one, okay, patient zero, some say, maybe that's a bad word.
Not a patient, because we're not clinical, but
You've been there, done that. I'm very active on the floors. Look, it's almost, oh, the bell's going to ring very shortly. So my last question for you is, as your user base grows, what did you learn? What's been some of the observations. Obviously you mentioned some testimonials that like change people's lives. I can certainly see it doing that. But what's the user patterns like? What's the behavior like?
You know, the biggest, I think, like surprise, but almost if you think about it, it's not too surprising that we saw, it's really, you know, the use case of Robyn, right? I think when we first started, we saw, you know, like some patterns, right? We saw like people talk about, you know, like dating, they talk about work, talk about their personal lives. But then as we, you know, grew and grew, those three are still, you know, like very prominent. We saw the case, you know, like the use case is being human, and that we have everybody, you know, from, you know, Gen Z users all the way to, you know, like boomers, all across all generations. And if you look at everything they're talking about, it's like a very, very deeply human thing to do, right? They talk about like, oh, you know what, like a show that I like, how do I, you know, like talk to my friend, this person disappointed me, some family drama. And, you know, it's like we only have metadata, right? So we don't know exactly what they're talking about, but we do have, you know, like data on like the topics. And by, you know, looking at this, it really shows us that this is something that is about being human.
Not to get all nerdy and everything, but if you go to the AI world, you're an AI native app, which is great. On the tech side, the NVIDIAs of the world, their big language is first token out fast.
Yes.
Time to first token, which means results.
Yes.
So I can imagine that you have a similar dynamic with the users, because talk, feel, grow. Talking is the cathartic kind of data sharing.
Yeah.
So you have to be optimized for, one, responding.
Yes.
And responding right or good enough to keep the progression going.
Yeah.
So that the feeling stage comes in, and then after that, how do you handle the growth? I'm sure you're aggregating responses. Take me through the data modeling. What's the fastest response thinking? Take us through that whole mindset.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of work on optimizing our latency, and just like you said, you know, when you're having a human conversation, right, you don't want to respond like too fast and cut them off, but you don't want to respond, you know, like 5 seconds or, you know, like 5 seconds later, right? So we optimize, and, you know, like our latency right now is usually around like 1.5 seconds, which is a very natural like human time, you know, to like if we're talking, right, you'd be like, oh, okay, and then you would respond. And then in terms of like how Robyn evolves with you, that is one of, you know, like our core value props, is that we are truly built to know you, which means that over time, the more you talk to Robyn, the more it's going to know you. And we very much optimize for minimum input, maximum output, right? So if you use Robyn even like 3 times, like it's going to show you something about you that even you were like, oh wow, this is so accurate. We actually get, you know, like text from our users saying like, this emotional profile is so accurate. It's like, I feel very called out.
Can I monitor myself all the time?
You can always like use it, and every single time you use it, Robyn's gonna grow with you. So like the data is very much built so that like every single time you know, have a conversation,
it's a documentary of my life.
It learns about you.
Writes the books and puts them on the
I mean, you can ask Robyn, you know, like who I am, who is John,
what's my blind
right? Spot? Yes, exactly. You can actually ask that exactly. And
what's my growth mindset score?
Exactly, and we show things back to you, right? So instead of just conversing with Robyn, every time you converse with it, the data goes in and it shows you your emotional profile, right? What are the patterns running you? You know, it shows you what are the key insights, you know, from this week that evolve every single week. And they're very accurate. They're not like, oh, take a leave. You know, they're very much like, you mentioned this on Tuesday, here's something you can do. And one of our new features that I'm most excited about is called For You Today, which is like, wouldn't it be nice?
What's it called? For You Today?
For You Today. And the idea is that, wouldn't it be nice if you woke up and your biggest problem is solved? That'd be nice, right? I would love that.
I love that.
Right? And now we have it. So from everything you talk to Robyn, it's like whatever is like your top of mind, it's like from chaos to clarity. You know, you wake up and then there's clarity. And it's like, oh, Jenny, you're chatting about, you know, like launching. Here's a playbook. You know, you mentioned having this conversation you've been trying to have. Here's a way to do it, right? And it's all just, you know, from talking to Robyn. Like the chat is the brain, but we wanted to also build the rest of it, right, as well. So the reflections, the insights, all of it, and it all grows with you, which is we're the only thing on the market right now that actually does that. Because, you know, being human it's a messy but also very beautiful process, and we built tech that honors that instead of, you know, like isolating it.
Well, I'm super excited for you. Check out the app, download in the Apple Store, Robyn with a Y, Robyn AI. Final question for you before the bell rings and closes today's market out.
Yeah.
What's on the to-do list now?
Oh, we have so many things.
Next time we get together, what's it going to...
We have so many things on the roadmap that it's going to be very fun. But what I can say is that next time we meet, Robyn will have connected and empowered, you know, many, many, many more people.
Well, thanks so much. Great to see you.
Thanks, John.
Mixture of experts sharing their expertise on theCUBE. We're doing our part to bring that to you. I'm John Furrier, the host. Thanks for watching.